Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Rachel David White, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari pledges to promote gender equality. INEC presents certificates of return to reps members-elect. Plus, thousands protest at Georgian against foreign agent bill. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in a moment. Our first report this afternoon is that President Muhammadu Buhari has pledged his government's commitment to ensure an equal opportunity for women in Nigeria. Buhari acknowledged the invaluable role that women have played in advancing the progress of the country since independence, saying they have continued to deliver excellently despite all odds. In a statement signed by the president's spokesperson, Femi Adesina, to mark the 2023 International Women's Day, Buhari saluted women for their hard work and dedication to achieving results in different fields of their endeavor. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has commended his vice, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, for a sterling service to the nation as he turns 66. In a statement signed by his special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, Buhari said the celebrant had served the country as an academic, Attorney General of Lagos State 1997 to 2007 and Vice President 2015 till date. Away from that, the Managing Director of Galaxy Backbone GBB, Mohammed Abubakar, has disclosed that the federal government blocked over 200 cyber attacks during the February 25th presidential and National Assembly elections. Abubakar made the disclosure at the opening session of the two-day ministerial training for GBB's board members and management in Abuja. He noted that the training was aimed at reviewing the agency's performance while initiating alternative means of revenue generation. According to him, Business Continuity and Cyberspace Protection Committee has been formed to guard and regulate digital activities while optimizing the GBB technical services. In politics, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has inaugurated the legal team to challenge the controversial presidential election of February 25, 2023. The PDP presidential candidate, while inaugurating the legal team at his campaign headquarters in Abuja, charged it to establish the claim of illegality in the February 25th presidential election and reclaim the mandate of the Nigerian people. Atiku told the team that apart from reclaiming the mandate from those who undertook the electoral haste, that was not a reflection of the will of Nigerians, stressing that the legal team should also use the opportunity of the trial to strengthen constitutional democracy in the country. Addressing the team headed by Chief J.K. Gadzama, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Atiku said it was imperative that they work assiduously in reclaiming the mandates, not necessarily because of him and the PDP, but to strengthen democracy and the electoral process and for generations unborn. The members of the team include Chief Chris Uche, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Paul Osoro-san, Tayo Jegede-san, Ken Mozia-san, Chief Mike Ozehume-san, Mahmoud Magaji-san, Joe Abraham-san, Chukuma Ome-san, Dr. Gaba Tetengi-san, and Chief Emeka Etiaba-san, amongst others. Still on electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has issued certificates of return to winners of the February 25, 2023 House of Representatives election in Nigeria. The INEC chairman, Mahmood Yakubu, presented the certificates to the members-elect at the National Collation Center in Abuja. Yakubu had on Saturday said winners were declared for 423 legislative seats, indicating that supplementary elections would be conducted in 46 other constituencies. He said in the House of Representatives, 325 out of 360 seats have been won by 8 political parties. In terms of party representation, the INEC boss said African Democratic Party won 2, APC 162, ABGA 4, Labour Party 3, 4, NNPP 18, PDP 102, SDP 2 and YPP 1. In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) yesterday issued certificates of return to winners of the February 25, 2023 senatorial election. The chairman of INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, presented the certificates to the senators-elect at the National Collation Center in Abuja. Also, on electoral matters, the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to fix all glitches in the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) machines before the March 11 governorship and state assembly elections. The bar also asked INEC to exclude its collation and returning officers with proven cases of misconduct in the February 25th elections from the forthcoming polls. The National Publicity Secretary, NBA, Akorede Lawal, in an interim report said the association deployed over 1,000 INEC-accredited observers drawn from the 128 branches of the bar to monitor the February 25th polls. The association also commended Nigerians for their resilience and perseverance in carrying out their civic duties during the presidential and National Assembly elections, and encouraged citizens to show same values and resolve in the forthcoming governorship and state houses of assembly elections. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force (NPF) says it has deemed it necessary to educate and caution Nigerians on the use of pets, especially dogs, at the polling units on election day, noting that such act runs contrary to the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 as amended. The spokesperson for the NPF, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, said dogs, according to the Electoral Act, could be classified as offensive weapons as their owners and handlers can use them to intimidate, harass, and cause assault and bodily harm to others. Reacting, the chief spokesman for the Obidati Presidential Campaign Council, Yanusa Tanko, frowned on the police directive, saying that what is essential in the country's security apparatus was not taken into cognizance. Also, the chief spokesman for New Nigerian People's Party Presidential Campaign Council, Ladipo Johnson, advised the police to ensure elections are conducted free, fair, and security-wise, rather than concentrating on pets. Away from that, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the International Organization for Migration in February facilitated the safe return of 299 ECOWAS citizens stranded in Niger. According to a statement by the body, most of the 299 migrants assisted in a safe and voluntary return were men and adults, with a total of 278 men and 8 women, 286 adults, 13 minors, 150 Nigerians, and 149 Guineans. The IOM Chief of Mission in Nigeria, Laurent Deberg, said the assistance provided by ECOWAS was an approach to migration. Berg noted that ECOWAS' commitment to providing assistance to its citizens is a concrete example of body's common approach on migration aimed at protecting the rights of migrants. Back here as International Women's Day is celebrated around the globe with the theme Digits All. Innovation and technology for gender equality. The world of technology has been advised to carry women along in the era of ICT. Speaking with our correspondent Esther Otoyo on the importance of the celebration, Regional Manager Southeast Operations Mary Stubbs International Organization Nigeria Samuel Ibokwe and the Regional Communication and Marketing Advisor of Mary Stubbs Oge Amaka said that the day is set aside to celebrate all women who are making good exploit in various fields. They also spoke on sub-theme Embrace Equity, saying that the world needs to shift away from equality and embrace equity, which will help in accommodating women in every area of life.
Worldwide, in country, in our different states, in our different cultures, women are being marginalized, based on a lot of stereotypes that exist in our society. You find out that we don't have fair sharing between the male and the females. And a day like this, which is being celebrated globally, nationally, is a day to sensitize our people, is a day to call women, let them be conscious to, always fight for their rights and reposition themselves from that place they have been put in the society. So that's the essence of this equal distribution, fair sharing among male and female. If you have males and females in the house, how can you treat all of them fairly? Give all of them equal opportunity to thrive and achieve whatever they want to achieve in life. Don't select for the females. Because you're a female, don't go for this. You're a male, oh yeah, do this. It's not allowed. I don't think it's the right practice for us to hold on to. Continuous sensitization like we are doing right now, creating awareness. Let people come back to their consciousness and understand the need to train all children at the same level. If you have a male child, if you have a female child, say two in the house, one male, one female, give all of them equal opportunity. Like in some cultures, they will tell you that a woman is an object to be disposed because she will get married. And based on that, they won't like to invest on that girl child. They won't like to invest on her. Tailoring everything to the man. In some cultures also, you find out that women are not even they don't have the right to inherit properties. They are all factors that are affecting them. So you find out, you give them equal opportunity, train them, so long you have the resources.
International Women's Day is a day set aside to celebrate women, to celebrate someone like you, and to celebrate all the women in the world who are making great exploits in various fields. This year's theme is Embrace Equity. And equity means affording everybody a level playing ground, opportunity to excel, putting into consideration that person's circumstance, and not actually seeing everybody as equal. So we're shifting away from equality, equal opportunity, to equity. Sensitizations like this, awareness like this, including others taking place world over, will continue to bring the consciousness to the front burner, and people will realize there is need to afford women equitable opportunities to achieve their potentials. There are factors which limit women from achieving their potentials, and when those factors are mentioned and discussed and debunked, the people who are responsible for entrenching those factors will draw back and know, people already know what I'm doing. Women are to be seen as well as heard. Not only seen, but they are to be seen and heard. And women can do this when they understand the inherent power they have by nature, the inherent power the constitutions have given them, the inherent power the society has given them, the inherent power education, empowerment has given them. Women should understand, I'm not just a child-making machine. I have a life to live. Aside childbearing, I have a life to live. I can go to school. I can pursue a career. I can learn a trade. In addition to also having children, I can achieve other life potentials.
In Africa, Egyptian authorities say passenger train derailed at north of Cairo, killing at least 2 people and injuring 16 others. According to reports, at least 20 ambulances were dispatched to the scene and the injured transferred to nearby hospitals. The state prosecutors said the derailing happened as the train was traveling through the city of Kuala on its way to the city of Menouf in the Nile Delta, and the injured victims are in stable condition. Still in Africa, Madagascar's government says Cyclone Pele is expected to make landfall again in Mozambique later this week after it struck Madagascar for a second time on Monday. According to the government, 8 people were killed and more than 1,000 homes were destroyed in the last incident. Reports say the storm first wreaked havoc in southeastern Africa in late February, killing 21 people and displacing thousands in both countries. Meanwhile, the Weather and Climate Extremes Evaluation Committee of the UN says it will set up an investigation into the remarkable and rare occurrence after the cyclone has dissipated. On a foreign scene, protesters have clashed with police in Georgia's capital, Tbilisi, after Parliament backed a controversial draft law which critics say limits press freedom and suppresses civil society. According to reports, riot police used water cannon and pepper spray to disperse the crowds outside the Parliament building. The government says several policemen were hurt and police gear was damaged. Meanwhile, U.S. State Department spokesman Ned Price says the draft legislation would be a tremendous setback and would strike at some of the rights that are essential to the aspirations of the people of Georgia. He warned that the bill is incompatible with EU values and standards. And still on a foreign scene, the United Nations Refugee Agency has said that the government's proposed asylum law is very concerning about and would block those with a compelling claim. The United Nations representative to the UK, Vicky Tennant, said the measure would break international law and was not needed to stop channel crossings. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has said he is up for the fight to bring in the law and overcome any legal challenges. Still to come in the news. Under 20 World Cup, Flying Eagles coach Bosso to submit provisional list April 10th. Do stay with us.
PDP! Power to the people! Akwa Ibom arise and shine. Akwa Ibom arise and shine. Vote more and all. Akone yagayi, make we vote more and all. Akone yagayi, for peace and security, Shebina, job creation, I say for youth empowerment, everybody vote to more and all. For agriculture, Havina women development, Shebina interest-free loan you want to. My people go to minor.
Akwa Ibom people, vote for job creation, vote for peace and unity, vote Pastor Umo Eno Anagone Yaranyi as governor and deputy governor for 2023 election. Vote PDP.
Go to minor. Akwa Ibom go better.
Thanks for staying tuned. On our business news, the scarcity of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, in Abuja and some northern states could persist till after Saturday's gubernatorial elections in various states. According to oil marketers, petrol scarcity became severe in Abuja, Nasarawa, Niger, and other states in the north, as thousands of motorists besieged the few filling stations that dispense the commodity in these areas. Report says that the cost of petrol rose to as high as 400 naira per litre at filling stations operated by independent marketers, while black marketers sold the products for between 450 naira per litre to 500 naira per litre. Meanwhile, the National Vice President, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Abubakar Megandi, hinted that the scarcity of petrol in the northern part of the country and some other states would drag till next week. Still in business, local airlines under the aegis of the Airline Operators of Nigeria have disclosed that aviation fuel, popularly known as Jet A1, has become scarce. A situation, according to them, may lead to flight delays. The Assistant Secretary, Airline Operators of Nigeria, Ewos Iroro, disclosed this to newsmen in Abuja. Meanwhile, the spokesperson for Ibom Air, Ani Esienete, said aviation fuel price as of Tuesday was 800 naira per litre in Lagos, 840 naira per litre in New York, 840 naira per litre in Abuja, and 840 naira per litre in Port Harcourt. Meanwhile, reports say the Nigerian aviation sector spent about $192 billion in 2022 on aviation fuel alone. In health, the number of adolescent girls and women aged 15 to 49 years who are undernourished has soared from 5.6 million in 2018 to 7.3 million in 2021 in Nigeria. According to a global report released by the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, Nigeria is among the 12 hardest hit countries by the global food and nutrition crisis. The 12 countries, including Afghanistan, Burkina Faso, Chad, Ethiopia, Kenya, Mali, Niger, Nigeria, Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan, and Yemen, represents the epicenter of a global nutrition crisis that has been increased by recent impact of COVID-19 and exacerbated by the war in Ukraine and ongoing drought, conflict, and instability in some countries. The UNICEF report warns that the ongoing crisis, aggravated by unending gender inequality, are deepening in a nutrition crisis among adolescent girls and women that had already shown little improvement in the last 2 decades. Meanwhile, UNICEF Executive Director Catherine Russell says the nutrition crisis is pushing millions of mothers and their children into hunger and severe malnutrition. Still in health, a study by Global Reproductive Health has said the removal of heavy metals in the body which hinder fertility is possible through modern May detoxification. A test conducted at the Genova Diagnostics Laboratory by Oluwole Ogunshola, Dr. Atinuke Adey, and Professor Ladapo Ashiru explained that a bioenergetic test reveals the types of heavy metals present in the patient's body. According to the study, heavy metals, once taken into the body, are distributed in the blood and deposited in tissues, and the contamination chain follows a cyclic order, from industry to the atmosphere, soil, water, and foods, then human. And Sport Flying Eagles head coach Laden Boso will have till April 10th to submit his provisional list of 50 players for the 2023 FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Boso will name his final 21-man squad for the World Cup from the list. The Flying Eagles are among the 4 African teams that will feature at the Under-20 World Cup in Indonesia. Meanwhile, Senegal, Gambia, and Tunisia are the other countries. The draw for the completion will hold this month. The Flying Eagles have been runners-up twice at the World Cup in 1989 and 2005. Still in sports, the widow of late football legend Pele will inherit 30% of his assets according to his will, which also mentions a woman who could be Pele's unrecognized daughter. According to her lawyer, Louise Kingnell, the will states that Marcia Sibele Oki, Pele's third and last wife, will inherit his mansion in Guarujá, a seaside resort town south of Sao Paulo, where the couple lived. Other assets belonging to Pele, who died after battling cancer in late December at age 82, include more real estate and a stake in the Pele brand. Kingnell said, adding that a complete inventory has yet to be made. Meanwhile, the remaining 70% is reserved for Pele's children, including an unrecognized daughter that he may have. On our entertainment news, Nollywood actor Denny recently shared the names of his twins on social media with his fans and followers. This came hours after a naming ceremony that had just a few friends and family in attendance. The actor revealed that he and his wife, Seyi Edun, had named their twins Ayomikun and Ayomiposi, drawing on their Yoruba heritage for inspiration. Recall that Johnson and Edun have been married and waited to have a child since 2018. Still on entertainment, veteran Yoruba actor Ojo Aro Shafe, popularly known as Fade Oloro, has passed away. According to reports, the actor died after losing a battle with a protracted illness. He was reported to have struggled with the illness for a long period of time. Fade was one of the best on-screen villains in the Yoruba movie industry, known for his darkened face and use of guns to settle disputes. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Rachel David White. Good afternoon.
As Nigeria prepares for the general elections holding from 25th February 2023, broadcasters are enjoined to make ethical reportage their watchword. All political programs shall observe the provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code and other extant laws relating to